Most men spend months trying to figure out if she's interested when she already told them the answer weeks ago, not with words, with three specific signals that almost nobody knows how to read. These three signals are rooted in attachment psychology and female behavioral patterns. And once you understand them, you will never again misread a situation that was actually clear the entire time. Signal number 2 involves something she does with her attention that is completely involuntary. And signal 3, the most powerful one, reveals not just interest, but genuine emotional readiness. We're covering all three. Stay with me. This video is about genuine emotional and psychological connection, specifically the three behavioral signals women consistently display when they have moved from casual interest into something significantly deeper. Understanding these signals makes you more present, more capable of meeting what's actually being offered, more able to respond with the intelligence and warmth the moment deserves. No manipulation, no games. Pure psychological truth about how genuine connection develops and signals itself before it becomes explicit. Let's get into it. Bold claim. Before a woman moves toward deeper connection with someone, she begins building a private emotional world between just the two of you, and most men walk through it without realizing what they just entered. Here's the psychology. Attachment researchers identified dyadic bonding behaviors as the primary precursors to deep relational investment. These are behaviors that create a sense of us, a felt separation between the private world of two people and the larger social environment around them. She does this through inside references that only you two share, through a look across a room that carries meaning nobody else in that room could decode, through lowering her voice slightly when she talks to you, creating an acoustic intimacy even in a public space, through finding the detail in a shared experience that becomes your detail, not a general one. Scenario: Daniel and a woman named Mara had been spending time together for about 6 weeks. At a group gathering, something mildly absurd happened. A waiter dropped an entire tray on the other side of the restaurant. In the moment of chaos, Mara looked directly at Daniel across the room, not at anyone else, at him, with a specific expression that said, "We're going to talk about this later." That look, that moment, that was an emotional enclosure being built in real time. But here's the part no one tells you. The enclosure only develops when she has already made a significant internal decision about you. She doesn't build private worlds with people she's uncertain about. She builds them with people she has already, quietly, internally, decided matter. What most men do wrong, they miss these moments entirely because they're not watching for them. They respond to the group rather than to the private signal she sent within the group. What actually works? Notice the private moment. Honor it. Reference it later in a way that proves you caught it. That look you gave me when the tray dropped, I'm still thinking about it. That simple acknowledgement tells her, he was paying attention to me specifically. Bold claim. When a woman is moving toward genuine emotional and physical connection with someone, her attention becomes involuntarily selective in ways that are neurologically impossible to fully manage. The neuroscience here is fascinating. The brain's reticular activating system, the neural filter that determines what we consciously notice, begins prioritizing information related to people we are emotionally invested in. It's the same mechanism that makes you suddenly hear your name in a noisy room. Once someone matters enough, the brain starts tracking them automatically. What this looks like behaviorally. She notices when you arrive somewhere before you've spoken to her. She tracks your position in a room without appearing to. She catches changes in your mood before you've said anything about how you're feeling. She hears your voice in a crowd and orients toward it before identifying it consciously. Mini story. A woman named Priya had been developing feelings for a man named James over the course of 2 months of working in the same building. She noticed one morning that something seemed off with him. He looked tired in a specific way that was different from his usual energy. She hadn't spoken to him yet. He hadn't mentioned anything. She brought him coffee. Unprompted, no explanation. He asked how she knew. She said, "I don't know. I just noticed." that I don't know was genuine. She couldn't explain the mechanism. The mechanism didn't need explaining. Her nervous system had become so attuned to him specifically that it was processing information about him below her conscious awareness. What most men do wrong, they interpret this selective attention as general friendliness and respond with general warmth, missing the specificity of what she's offering. What actually works, receive the specificity with equal specificity. Notice that she noticed, acknowledge it. You pay attention in ways most people don't. That acknowledgement tells her that her attention landed and that you value it. This is the climax, the deepest signal, the one that changes everything. Bold claim, the most powerful signal a woman sends before genuine deep connection is allowing herself to need you in small, specific, real ways. And this is the signal that almost universally goes unrecognized. Here's why this is the deepest signal of all. Independent women, particularly those who have been through relational pain, develop a very specific self-protective pattern. They stop allowing themselves to need people. They become capable, self-sufficient, and emotionally contained, not because they don't feel, but because needing someone and being let down is one of the more specific human pains available. When a woman begins allowing herself to need you in small ways, asking for your help with something she could handle alone, reaching out when she's struggling instead of managing it privately, telling you she missed you rather than waiting for you to say it first, she is dismantling a protective wall that took her years to build. She is doing it because something about your consistency, your character, your presence has generated enough felt safety to make the risk of needing you feel worth taking. Mini story. Elena had been self-sufficient her entire adult life. She prided herself on it. After a painful divorce at 34, she had built a life that required nothing from anyone. Then she met someone, a man named Thomas, who showed up the same way every single time. Never dramatic, never inconsistent, just reliably, warmly, genuinely there. One evening, her car broke down. She had 3 friends she could have called. She called Thomas. She told her therapist the next week, "I don't know why I called him. I just knew he'd come." That knowing, that felt certainty of reliable presence, is what it took to dismantle the wall. Not grand gestures, not declarations, just consistent, quiet, trustworthy showing up. But here's the part that is genuinely the truth reveal. When she allows herself to need you, and you show up fully, without making her feel foolish for needing, without creating any debt around the help, something in her nervous system registers at the deepest level of attachment formation. It registers as safe. This person is genuinely safe. And safety, felt, embodied, neurologically registered safety, is the precise prerequisite for the kind of deep connection that actually lasts. Not attraction, not chemistry, safety. The man who creates that through nothing more than consistent, warm, reliable presence becomes the man she cannot imagine not having in her life. Here's the question I want to leave you with, and it deserves genuine reflection. Of these 3 signals, the emotional enclosures she builds, the involuntary selective attention she can't control, and the allowing herself to need you, which one have you experienced with someone and missed entirely? Because she was telling you, in the clearest language available to her before words were ready. The question is whether you were present enough to hear it. Drop in the comments which signal resonated most with your own experience, and if today gave you genuine insight into something you've been trying to understand, subscribe. Every week we go exactly this deep into the psychology of real human connection. See you in the next one.